This is a poem I wrote called I Love Milling Lumber. I love milling lumber, mostly cedar and pine. I would even take some oak, that would be just fine. Every time I see a log on the side of the road, makes me want to get my trailer with a log arch to load. I see those logs that no one wants, makes me feel a little sad. I could take that digger pine, it wouldn't be so bad. A log is just a useless thing, no one wants it today. I take my mill and cut it into a board. Everyone says, oh yay! A bandsaw or chainsaw, it really doesn't matter. Whichever one will make the round come out flatter. The things that are left when the boards are all done is firewood and sawdust. I use it not just for fun, but because I must. Today we have a day I'm going to be milling. I have a lot of logs right here. Here in Northern California, they've been cutting down trees like crazy to clear for power lines and stuff. That's how I got into the milling, to get as many trees as I can, and I just happen to need a fence right now. So I am going to be making all this pine and this cedar into posts and boards. I have some smaller stuff that I thought I might use for posts, but the smaller stuff I'm seeing now, when you're doing trying to get boards out of it, it's not worth it. When it gets down to like 6 inches, that's about as small as you want to go, and that's only good for a post. Anyways, I'm going to go on and I'm going to be doing some milling. I'm going to change my bar and a new chain and see how that works, because it cuts fast enough for me, but my chain was getting so worn down that I wasn't able to sharpen it anymore. Okay, I also noticed that the bark seems to make a lot of noise, and it gets my chain dull quicker. I'm not sure exactly why, but anyways, so the quicker I can get the bark out of the way and get down to the wood, the better it seems to be. Another thing, sometimes I only have an 18-inch bar, and come to find out, I can do a much bigger than an 18-inch log, because I'm only taking the top and turning it, taking the other side and turning it, and I keep turning it down to a square. So even though it's bigger than my bar, I'm only taking the top part of it at a time. So an 18-inch bar is all I need. I will never go any longer than that. As they get longer, the bars, they also start to bend and flex a little bit when they're hanging horizontally like I have it. So that's another thing that I'm really careful about. Let me take you on I'll show you what I have for logs and what my setup is for today. Well, here we go. This is my logs. Quite a few. Let's take a look. I'll kind of get back to show them. See that small stuff over to the right? That's just going to go. That's going to be firewood. I'm not going to try to make stuff. Now the big stuff, these big logs, the bottom one is a 22-inch, and that's just about as big as my equipment will handle. This one that I did right here, this one that's on it right now that I've slabbed off, and now I'm getting to the good boards. This was a 19-inch log, and it worked really well. I'm going to get some beautiful boards. So here's I have my little forklift that I use for the logs, but also at the same time, I have to put my finished boards over here. Let's see, let's take a look. This one is not really finished, but this is the top of my boards, so you can kind of see. And then this is what I'm going to be cutting off of today, and with my new bar. And let's see, I put the boards on a pallet, I take them around back, and then I'm going to sticker them up to let them dry. I have to do this because my space is so limited on where I can work. And then as I take off slabs, I'm going to throw them over this pile and onto the other side, and then I'll cut those up for firewood when I'm done with my milling. So this is like the most efficient way that I could do it. Let's scoot back, take a look. Now this is the smaller, it's an 18-inch bar, but it's a smaller width. And let me show you, the teeth are pretty well worn down. I might be able to get one more sharpening out of it. Let me close in on that. They're pretty well done. This is what I found between the two bars. I originally swapped my bar over to this bigger 18-inch bar. These are both 18s, and it's the same distance between the pins. This one is 66 links. This one is 62 links. The difference I found in the two is this one is a wider thing, and it's more aggressive, bigger teeth, and it's wider. This one is narrower, just up here. I don't know exactly all about these chainsaw bars, but this narrower one, after I went to all the trouble to change to the heavier one, found out that it was actually slower cutting than this one. This one's quite a bit faster because it's taking out less wood as it cuts. So anyways, one thing I learned, I just wanted to share, it's faster to use the smaller chain 18-inch 62 tooth. There's more to it than that, and there's a lot of people online that I've seen that talk all about that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's get on with it. Yeah, this is my latest milling, and then over here this is covered up because we stained it, and then over here we have some more covered up that's been stained and ready to go on the fence. This includes 4x4s and 2x4s over here on this end, and then the rest are fence boards. There's a lot of things I learned in the process of this, milling all this lumber, and I've done a lot of lumber now. I like to do softwood, and I like to do it when it's fresh and green. I like using an electric mill because I could not stand the noise of the gas chainsaw. The neighbors, I couldn't run it first thing in the morning. I don't want to wake all my neighbors. I would rather use a chainsaw mill than a bandsaw mill, only because bandsaw mill, each band is about 20 bucks. And you normally have to have them sharpened. Well, the chainsaw mill, it's a chain, it's about 20 bucks, but I get a lot more time out of it. It's easy to sharpen myself. I got one of those sharpening stones, worked beautifully. And I love the fact that when it uses electric, I don't have to keep putting gas into it. All I have to do is oil the bar once in a while. That was a really good thing on this one. Second thing, not only did I enjoy it and I got some beautiful lumber out of milling my own lumber, my $150 sawmill has probably cut at least a couple $1,000s worth of cedar so far, probably more. So I know that not only did I get some beautiful wood, but I got saved a whole bunch of money, and that's adding to why I love milling. Milling is more than just cutting a board, because that's one small part of milling. Milling is getting it from the woods. You have to get it however you get it. You need to get it from the woods. You need to transport it. You need to get it to where you're going to use it. You got to clean it. You have to lift it, put it on the mill. You have to have a mill. That's the other thing you have to decide. And when you're done, you're going to have beautiful boards, but you also have to get rid of or use what your mill is making as far as putting out firewood and sawdust. I use the mill ends for firewood for the next summer, and then the sawdust I put all over my property. After 2 or 3 months, you don't even know it's there anymore. It goes back to dirt. And the last thing I was going to talk about was I have a little set of plans that I did for my gas sawmill. I built a really neat little structure for that. Contact me at thegreensmachines@gmail.com. I can send you a download for a set of plans. And the last thing, if you want the other things, the forklift, I have plans for that. That goes with the electric tractor that I build that I use on a constant basis. So if you need any of those things, go to thegreensmachines.com and you can pretty much contact me or do whatever you need to do.